Okay, so this is the imagination worksheet, or in other words, imagination at work worksheet. And what this is a continuation of what we practiced in the creativity boot camp. And what that is you will be given a worksheet and it will have 6 boxes. And within those boxes, you will be given a line or lines to complete an image. Now, you guys will be finishing the images in colored pencil and a fine tip Sharpie. And what I'm expecting you guys to do is to create almost like a mini finalized artwork with each square. So here on the screen, I have a couple examples. They're not that great a quality. They're a little blurry, but you should be able to see or make out that they are fully rendered. I also want you to notice how these colors are very vibrant, also meaning very saturated. So with that, I'm going to show you how to accomplish that within colored pencils as well. With each square, also, your pictures really don't have to make sense, so you can lean more on the surrealistic side. It just really doesn't have to make complete overall sense. It's really what you see within that box. And then here's my little last one. Probably these eyes are a great example of leaning more towards surrealism and not making the most amount of sense. Okay, so let me show you this worksheet. And what I have here is actually an example from a previous student. And she did a great job. I just wanted to point out all the images she ended up making in each square. This one's probably my favorite because she kind of gave pretty much a whole scene there. And then here, just like a yellow brick road, and really doing a great job using color and finalizing an image. So this is kind of where my expectations are. If you want to go more saturated with color, you're more than welcome to. Like areas where she wasn't super saturated was the sky and this background here, but it does also give some good variation as far as value goes. So no problem there. Okay, so this is the worksheet that you'll be given. I have multiple different versions, so the person next to you probably won't get the same worksheet. So what I recommend you doing is taking a look at what your worksheet or what each square is, and honestly just flipping it. It doesn't have to stay in the orientation that it's given or handed to you, and seeing what you can make out of it. Now, I don't want to go through and explain what each thing could be. I really wanted to talk about the colored pencil portion. So let me do that. And I'm just going to color. I'm not going to make it into anything crazy. Although this kind of like looks like a lemon to me, like the end of a lemon. And that could be lemon juice. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just grabbing some colored pencils. By the way, colored pencils are in these colored pencil boxes. And they're just the typical Crayolas. They're kind of old. They're not the newest, but they work. So with this, I have a pencil sharpener, and I actually have 2 kinds of pencil sharpeners. I have these little plastic ones, which I have quite a bit of. And then I have these little tote things. And inside of these little Tupperware dishes, I have the pencil shavings, and then I have the pencil sharpener. Now, you're more than welcome to dump out these pencil shavings at any time. Just make sure you don't throw away the pencil sharpener, because that's pretty easy to do. Anyway, so I have 2 kinds of pencil sharpeners if you're curious. You'll always find the supplies on that back counter in the shelves. But I'm going to work with this guy here. I'm just going to sharpen it. Now, the key with working with pencil, oh wow, I'm cracking this pencil. Let me find another. The key with working with colored pencil is always working with a sharpened colored pencil. I know that's kind of obvious, like Miss Spence, duh, why wouldn't you? But you'd be surprised. So for this demonstration, I guess this is sharpened enough. This pencil sharpener is not in great shape. I'll make sure to, oh, it's broken. Okay, great. I'll make sure to change that one out. So I have a yellow one, and then just because I want to add value, I'll throw in an orange one there too. Okay, so with colored pencils are made of wax, meaning you can layer and layer and layer. Also, depending on what type of paper you're working with. Now, we're working on just regular copy paper. Now, if you're working on colored pencil paper, such as Bristol paper, you could layer a lot more. But anyway, we're not working with that. So we don't have to add on a crazy amount of layers. What I like to do when I color in colored pencil, let's see if I can zoom in here. Okay, is I like to color in these like tiny little circular motions. And I'm pressing hard, but not like a crazy amount. And anyway, these little circles are called like semicircular scumbling. You do not have to remember that. I think a professor used to always mention it, and it just kind of stuck with me. But anyway, so here's my little lemon here. And I just want to point out, for instance, I'm not coloring very lightly like this. You could probably barely see that on the camera. I really want you to try to get as much saturation out of your colored pencil as possible. Also, working in these little tiny circles kind of removes the I guess possibility of you making those little scratchy marks. That makes sense. And then of course you can layer. You don't always have to use the same color. Now this orange isn't going to be as vibrant because there's a lot of yellow underneath. And it's already filled up, kind of like the tooth of that paper. Anyway, still working in those little semicircular scumbling motions. I'm just showing you how vibrant these colored pencils are, or can be. All right. So I just wanted to show you that little demo just to kind of give you an idea of expectations as far as coloring. And again, here's a great example of that. Just make sure you are finishing up each square and making it a completed picture. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Enjoy your time working on this. I always have a fun time watching you guys. Hate that I'm not able to watch you guys this time, but I do look forward to coming back and seeing these. All right, hope this was helpful.